Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready. Do anti-epileptic medication change behavior? We've been through this. Hi, I've had epilepsy since 2020 from the COVID vaccine. I have been taking Depakin Chrono since then. It says one of the ASM available in Slovakia, so this is probably not the country. I've been taking Depakin Chrono since then until like almost a year ago when my mom brought me another box of pills called Tamano, which contained carbazepine. Everything was fine until the beginning of this year. I started feeling like something is not right. I would be compulsively do one specific thing over and over. I would have very bad intrusive thoughts, basically would do things very similar to OCD, which I don't have. At first, I could not find out what was happening to me until a while ago. I decided to do a bit of research about the mentioned substance and experimenting. It does, however, have rapid mood changes as one of the side effects, but also I have discovered that there have been records from some patients that do take pills with carbamazepine or carbamazepine that they do in fact have OCD like behavior, also like me. Have any of you experiencing something similar? Do you think it's just me who experiences this? I've heard of other pills causing other things, but maybe it's just me or this person. Yes, I believe the pills change. They change your behavior, especially after being diagnosed. Does anyone think the medication changes behavior?
100%, all the way. It's messing with our brain equilibrium. It's going to mess with way more than just keeping our seizures under control as best they can.
It's curious though that this one was on carbamazepine, because carbamazepine is actually not just an anticonvulsant, but it's used to treat bipolar. So if they're having outbursts or any kind of instability from this one, that's definitely literally like made to mess with your mood. So maybe
Yeah,
it's not doing the right
Lamictal
way for you.
is also a mood stabilizer that's used to treat epilepsy. It's interesting that seems to be. I wonder if they share something in common structurally. The molecules are just a slight alteration of each other, perhaps, or something. I don't know, but that's interesting.
You say Lamictal or lamotrigine? I'm seeing Lamictal or lamotrigine is
Lamictal.
generally tolerated better than
Lamictal,
Oh, okay.
lacosamide is lacosamide.
they're different.
Lamictal is a bipolar, like a mood stabilizer, bipolar. High dose is used for anticonvulsant. Yeah.
I take that for my seizures. I just take 200
it
milligrams.
looks like they literally
I guess my mood is pretty stable if you guys can't tell.
So according to this little AI overview, right, you chill. Lacosamide primarily enhances the slow inactivation of voltage gated sodium channels, while carbamazepine blocks those channels. So I can see how they're in the same family, but they
I got one here. It says, how long to feel mentally normal again after a seizure. It's been 2 weeks since my last set of focal seizures, and I still don't feel like myself. WTF. This happened to anyone else? Usually I'm back in a day or two. Personally, it's never took me 2 weeks. I've never felt signs and was like, oh, I still feel like I did 2 weeks ago. Anybody took 2 weeks to come back and feel normal? I mean, everyone is different, but this person said focals 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
The longest I've
that must
heard,
have been a hell of a cluster.
was actually from the friend of mine who I was talking about earlier with the back misdiagnosis. His brother a few weeks ago had he was seizing for 10 hours, just like off and on. And it like 5 days later, he still thought that it was 3 years prior, I think. And he's fine now, but it took him about a week. But that was after like a major, series of tonic clonic back to backs. Like his brain was going through a lot, and he still recovered in a week. You know.
That's impressive.
Also, I am trying
That
to
must have been so
get.
scary just to think, are we ever going to get them all the way back?
I am trying to get him to come on. Also, by the way, Pookie.
Thank you. I got something here. It says male 22 confused. Hello, gang. Just gonna start out with saying I am not diagnosed with epilepsy. Now for the backstory. A couple days ago, I gained consciousness on my floor, right beside my bed. I was only wearing my gaming headphones, LOL. I lost 2 hours before losing consciousness, so I was feeling very confused as to why I was on the floor. I noticed a pain in my back and my head, a pain in my back and in my head that stuck around for 2 days. It noted my clothes being dropped in a random pile right beneath my chair. Also noted that my PC was angled weirdly. After gaining consciousness, I told my parents, and they asked me things like, what did we have for dinner? Or what did we do today? Went to the mall. I couldn't remember. We went to the mall, but I couldn't remember. They also noted that it had seemed like I was just talking to someone a few minutes ago, and I must have been talking really loudly since we live on separate floors and I had the door shut. I keep asking myself if I could have gone to bed and just fallen out, but never go to bed at that time. Plus, why would I be wearing my gaming headphones? Ha ha ha. Anyhow, I went to the ER, and wow, they took what I was told they took what I told them really seriously. That surprised me. Constant EKG, multiple blood tests, blood pressure monitoring, head X-ray, EEG. Results of the EEG was inconclusive from what I understand, but they worded it as more likely I have epilepsy than not. 1.5 days later, I walked out with a Keppra script and will get referral to sleep deprived EEG and MRI. Side note, the doctors became more suspecting of epilepsy when I let them know that I had previously dislocated my shoulder in my sleep, got friction burns on my skin. The past couple of years, my memory has been sort of disorientating. Trouble remembering conversations and such. I can't really imagine that I have epilepsy, but this piqued my interest as it would explain my previous injuries. The ones of you suffering from this disease, what do you think? Anything sounding like textbook epilepsy? Kinda. I mean, every time I woke up on the floor, they told me to stay on the floor and wait for the ambulance. So, anyone that sound like anything?
The rug burn stood out to me.
Hmm?
Could definitely have been convulsions on any surface.
Oh,
They said something about rug burns.
go ahead, Sia.
No, go ahead. My daughter's just hitting me in the face.
Oh, okay. Well, um, got something else here. It says, Why do I feel completely off and black out after a strobe light exposure? I used to visit a haunted house pumpkin patch every fall with friends as a kid. I always knew that if I encountered strobe lights, I'd end up feeling off for the rest of the night. As soon as we reached the part of the strobe lights, I'd start to feel really foggy, like I wasn't fully in control of my body. Even after we moved past that area, I wouldn't feel better for the rest of the night. I keep having these strange moments like blackouts where I'd suddenly come back to reality and realize I had zoned out or lost time for a few seconds. It was like time would skip forward and I'd feel extremely tired, almost like I was constantly nodding in and out of consciousness without being able to stop. Does anyone else experience this kind of reaction to strobe lights? Is this something I should be concerned about? This person is asking you guys a serious question.
Well, they must have done a test for a diagnosis to verify whether or not they're photosensitive. I would assume. Usually, when they do like the full workup to get the diagnosis, they would do some kind of test for that for photosensitivity.
Toaster, what'd you say?
I was saying something. Oh yes, it's concerning. Photosensitivity is no joke. My brother hasn't been
Alright.
diagnosed with epilepsy. Oh, am I answering the wrong one? Wrong question. Oh, okay. Um, my brother suffers migraines like my dad does with flickering lights. But other than that, it's just migraines. But I can imagine that photosensitivity is probably like that. Or photosensitive epilepsy is.
I would imagine that would suck because I don't have photosensitivity or like strobe light sensitivity. Like I can go to a concert or whatever, but I would imagine that would be really tough since it's also like when you think of epilepsy, that's like the stereotypical
Yeah.
thing. So I'd imagine that would suck.
I'm just glad I don't have it.
It's actually hilarious how many people think that if you're epileptic, you're guaranteed photosensitive because what is it? It's like 1%, I think, of
1% of us 1%ers.
Yeah, exactly. The odds of being photosensitive epileptic is so low, but we've all seen every movie. Or also played a video game where it was like, just watch out, we've got some strobe.
Yeah, I don't know what led up to this guy's possible seizure, but my very first seizure was a photosensitive seizure, and I never had another photosensitive seizure. But I mean, he could have been up all night drinking Red Bull and I don't know, lots of caffeine, no food, no sleep. So it could have just been in one thing. It's possible it was just an isolated incident or something. Maybe he passed out. I don't know. But it's better safe than sorry, right? Um, get all the tests and everything. Just make sure there's nothing wrong in your tinker or brain, whatever they call it. Tinker's the right slang for brain, right?
Yeah, why not?
What? What'd you say?
I don't know. I'm just babbling.
I missed what you said. Pat was here saying something I didn't hear.
Well, this one is asking for advice on whether or not they should get the surgery. They're saying, for context, I have a 5 centimeter cyst in my right prefrontal cortex. I'll have another MRI before I see the neurosurgeon, and my guess is he'll decide what will happen next. I have mixed feelings about going forward with this. I'm scary to think about. It's scary to think about. I'm feeling kind of defeated. I'm not even sure why I'm posting this. So yeah, this person's definitely just anxious to even hear what the neurosurgeon's going to say, but I know I felt the same way when I got the referral to the surgeon in the first place, that the neurologist was just already positive that they'd seen this before and this is the next step. And you know, yeah, the referral kind of said it all for me too. So once again, do your research, be your own advocate, be prepared of what questions you definitely want answered for that appointment. What do you guys think?
That's a pretty big one. But honestly, like a cyst, I don't want to do surgery. They keep wanting me to do surgery, but if there was a cyst, I might consider it because I had surgery as a kid because I had cysts in my sinuses and never regretted that. So, no, I don't want a cyst in my brain. But that's personal, I think. Anybody else?
Honestly, I'm a little behind, but I'll catch up on the next topic because I don't want you guys to go back.
Well, the other thing about cysts, though, I would think that if that's the kind of surgery where you have a hope for a cure, not just, you know, keeping it under wraps, like if I could have gone back, I would have definitely asked more questions like that. If I'm going to do brain surgery, what's one that will have a better chance of actually stopping these seizures altogether instead of just stopping the worst of the worst?
We agree. If there's something there, you have to take care of it. You can't just leave it and hope. Like, if there's something they can actually do, go for it. I know it's scary, but it's so much better than leaving it. Who knows? You know?
You got children.
It's okay, Pookie. Kids are life.
Yeah.
That's right. Kids
Well,
are life.
well, this life of having dreads, he couldn't keep the swim cap on, so now I gotta dry them, and I just dried him, and now he's in the shower. So give me a second.
Without the hair cap,
Yeah.
of course. You have to try the dreads again.
Yo.
Oh, that's
That's like
because it takes time.
that's the voice I use when my cat has like jumped up on the counter.
So that's not the authority in the classroom when somebody's acted up.
No, you gotta be gentler. You gotta be like, hey, bud, I know you're feeling like, this is the best idea, but maybe think about how this could play out, okay? And also, Pookie, I sent a message, but I don't know if it's probably backed up now. I sent a message saying, tell your kid that their hair is awesome.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is beautiful. I'm sorry it's a pain.
Yeah, when I yell out, yo, everybody says, huh? I don't know. Something about names. I see them to go, yo. Everybody gets everybody's attention. Well, my kids. My kids, they're not sure who I'm talking to, so everybody answers.
That's actually what I was gonna mention. Because you have 3 kids, my great grandmother used to just yell out all 3 kids' names in it, like it was just like sort of a Betty Buster. Oh shoot! Now I'm having a brain fart, but it was like all 3 names in a row. All 3 kids would come down, and then she would just point and go you, and the other 2 would leave.
Yeah, my Grammy had 5 and she did the same thing. Even as adults, like if she wanted one of them, she would go through, if it was a daughter, she'd go through the 3 daughters' names till she got the right one. If it was all of them, she'd go through all of them. Even as adults.
I got another one. This one, there was another one earlier, just like it. Exactly like it. Someone said, did anybody dislocate their shoulder during a seizure? I had my first epileptic seizure this past Saturday. Seeing a neurologist tomorrow to see what can be done. I'm already taking Keppra since Tuesday. Unfortunately, I dislocated my right shoulder during a seizure. Posterior dislocation. I had assumed it came from the fall and me landing on my arm, but after doing some research, it dawned on me that it was actually from my shoulder muscles tensing up. Just goes to show how much force is involved during a seizure. So yeah, I actually dislocated my shoulder using the force of my muscles. Did this happen to anyone else? So Angel said he had it, but he said he woke up on the floor, so he wasn't sure. Let's talk about these shoulder injuries.
I have hip, not shoulder.
Ankle. I mean, I actually have dislocated my shoulder before, but it wasn't as bad as breaking my ankle.
You broke your ankle during a seizure?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I fell down and it snapped.
Oh, shit.
The worst I've gotten. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, keep going. Sorry.
It's never been the same since. That's all I was going to say, Lucy.
Dun, dun, dun. I was gonna say I've only had concussions, but my joints or whatever, like my shoulder muscles and my knee, like they naturally pop out of place, and so do all of my joints just pop out of place naturally without any pain. So luckily, nothing crazy feels bad, or yeah.
Hyperextension in all your joints. One of my daughters has that.
It works out for being epileptic, so.
Okay.
So you could be one of those people who could like fit in a box.
Yeah, like my thumb moves all weird ways, and yeah.
So you could fit like in a suitcase?
Well, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Sorry, when I said box, I meant more like suitcase. Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are planning, but I'm not getting any.
They better not be planning anything.
Human trafficking is not my thing, guys.
Thank you. Toaster, contortions. Yes. Like the videos of contortionists are wild. It's like, how the hell do they bend their bodies that way? It makes no sense.
I thought it was normal up until people told me it wasn't. It's not even something I trained to do. I thought it was normal.
Just glad there's no pain with it. That's amazing.
Right. So, next one would be. I'm sorry, you guys, I get lost sometimes. Could my not yet ministrating kids TLE be hormonal, cyclical? My 9-year-old daughter has been having what seem like non-motor aware TLE since February. I am tracking them and taking notes in the spreadsheet with a couple graphs. Probably sounds crazy, but I have experience working with kids with seizures and tracking them, and I am in general experience with data. There's an emerging pattern that, and the very beginning of the month, it ramps up, and right around the first of the month, she'll have a day of multiple ones. She hasn't started ministrating. We have an EMU stay coming up, but it just made me curious if it could be related to puberty, hormones, staying up too late. Change in sleep pattern also seems to trigger, and they primarily happen just before bedtime or sleep. I don't know anything about the
I don't
menstruating stuff.
I don't think that until you officially start your period that you have any sort of like cyclical anything. But as far as like hormones and each month it happens at a certain like periods are not like that. Like they don't happen on the same day every single month. Like the length can change and especially when you're like very, very young, it can change very drastically. And so, like, some adult women have like 28 to 32 days, and then when you're young, it's like kind of all over the place. So, I wouldn't really say that I don't think that that's hormonal. Yeah.
Either way, this mom is a genius for keeping track like that. If she's noticing the first of every month and the bedtimes, that's a great place to start because from what I'm seeing, even before menstruation, catamenial seizures can happen because there are still phases in the perimenstrual phase that apparently progesterone levels still fluctuate in every female. And I mean, we have cycles even before menstruation. So catamenial can, but like you said, when you're younger, things are all over the place. So I don't know how likely it is, but that's
I
definitely
would
something to
say it
bring up to the
depends on,
neurologist.
yeah, how young is she? That's,
I
you know,
think it
Is it
said
8 or 9?
9 years old. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so.
so probably 9.
I believe it says 10.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I wish I could
well, I mean, yeah,
say
that's
they're not going to, but they could get it
Evidence is there.
anytime. I'm sorry, but you know, from personal experience and friendship, I can say 100% it's possible to get it that young. So, but it is amazing that she's got this spreadsheet. That's incredible. Go, mom.
Isn't if she's saying that the daughter is 9 years old and having menstrual cycles, isn't that all? Is she saying that she's? Is that what? Did I
No, what the
mishear
post
something?
was
she
saying,
didn't.
well, what the post was saying is that she was curious about whether she could be having some kind of hormonal
Oh,
cycle to trigger the seizures because she's not menstruating yet. I don't know
oh,
if that explains that any better.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I don't
I mean,
have any. I don't have any input there, but that's a good question. I have no input there, but good question.
I think
So
that
yeah,
all of
some
us
of
kind of
these,
develop patterns. And so it's extremely smart to catch the patterns. But it might not be the cycle.
yeah, some of these words you guys pronounced the first time correctly. like silical or whatever that word is. You guys, you know that word. I didn't even know what this post was about.
Cyclical? Is that correct, ladies? Like cycles?
Yeah, it's
cyclical?
cyclical.
Cyclical, right?
Yeah.
Cyclic
And then-
vomiting?
And then when you have, what is it? It's catamenial. That's
So the root
when
word
they
is
definitely
cycle.
are attached to your
The
cycle.
root word is cycle.
Right. So
I don't know
Cyclical
any
root
of
word is
these words.
cycle.
This is all new to me.
Yeah,
catamenial is
that
the
was-
name when your seizures are connected to your cycle.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Fun! I write that down.
You just learned something.
Yeah, it's so fun.
How do you
And
spell
so new.
that?
How do you
It's-
spell that?
It's CATA. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I had to learn about this too. One
Wait, I
second.
gotta find my
It's
page.
CATAMENIAL.
Thank you.
C Wait, CATA. I'm sorry.
CATAMENIAL.
As we were going to spell it, I was like spelling it out as well, hoping that I got it right. And I did. I was like, yes, I can spell stuff by sound.
Usually I can
Yes,
spell this by
yeah, me
sound,
too. I got it right, and just
Oh, knowing the meaning makes a big
yeah.
difference because that is not a phonetic word.
Yeah, cyclical. Yeah, never mind. It's like saying Kepra, the generic version. It's just so many. It's all over the place. There's one that says seizure from Mounjaro. So I started taking Mounjaro 9th of May on 2.5 milligrams, and I also took the golden 5th dose, which I took 6th of June, and then ordered the next prescription, which started June 26th, and that was 5 milligrams. So essentially, I had a 2-week break in between. Anyway, I ended up having seizure the following evening, and my partner thinks there could be a connection. I wonder if anyone has experienced this. My trigger is alcohol and sleep deprivation. I do not drink alcohol anymore, and I'd slept perfectly fine. I had no problems on 2.5 milligrams. Of course, I will contact my neurologist. However, I am intrigued to know if this has happened to anyone else.
What
anyone know what
is
Mounjaro is?
Mounjaro is? What is that?
I'm unsure at this point.
My phone says it's for diabetes. No.
Oh, well, that makes sense then, maybe.
Is it
I mean,
one of those weight loss drugs? The
Yeah,
That's Ozempic, I think.
semaglutides that people are using to drop.
the curve hunger.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
Oz,
like Ozempic.
yeah, my dad
It-
takes that for his diabetes and it kills his appetite.
Yeah, and that's what someone told me is they take it to curb your appetite and you lose weight essentially. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're
they
not
say that you do have an average weight loss with it, but it is actually an insulin like leveling out drug, I guess.
if they have diabetes and they're taking it for
that,
then
then
maybe it's a blood sugar issue. But if they're taking it for weight loss, I mean, it could still be a blood sugar issue, but it could also just be that you shouldn't lose that much weight that fast.
So 2.5 is the starting dose and is not meant for blood sugar control. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I'm not sure, but interesting.
Yo.
Because that's
Oh, my
that's
bad.
definitely never the first choice for epilepsy.
Mm-mm.
So it sounds like there's definitely, like you said, more to this case, like or a reason this doctor would have chosen this med to start because there's too much regulation going on between the appetite and the digestive system and the glucose. It sounds like it even increases the insulin secretion from the pancreas. So there's, yeah, this drug does a lot to a couple things.
Increased risk of pancreatitis. Yeah. I don't know.
Somebody else here on another post was saying, I don't know if it happens to you, but as a result of encephalitis, I developed a sense of smell. Encephalitis is that the swollen brain? Okay. I
I think so.
developed a sense of smell and epilepsy, although my seizures are nocturnal and I have mostly absences. And I often notice that in addition to the discomfort related to smell, I also have chills. These chills are very present in my days, so I can't distinguish if they're due to hyperstimulation or if they are real cold shivers. Does it happen to you? None of my senses have been altered, and chills can be, something that definitely happens after, especially during like the longer absences. Then if I come back and I'm like really chilly, then I know something just happened. It's cold.
I don't have experience with encephalitis, but yeah, like Kate said, I get chills sometimes, I get hot flashes sometimes before, sometimes after. And then my sense of smell can be different with auras. Like I can smell like really nasty stuff that I don't want to smell.
I've even smelled roses.
Hey, that's a nice one at least.
I know. I was like, wow. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. Usually it's like burning rubber or something
Or
like that.
trash.
Or
That's
trash.
a bad
Something
one.
not good.
Or
Yeah.
cigarette smell. That one's
Oh.
nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roses one time.
I hope for that one day.
All right. It says, what are some ways of making videos accessible to people with epilepsy? I have no idea, but I've also made it a point to make sure videos I make or edit are friendly to epilepsy folk. Obviously, I avoid flashing lights if it's unavoidable. Like if flashing is baked into a video itself, I turn down the brightness as I've heard that can help photosensitive. This person looks like they just need some help online. So I got a different one. It says, how may this vaccine interact with epilepsy medication? I should take the vaccine against cervical cancer, but surprise, I've started to trust doctors less and less. How could it potentially interact with epilepsy?
There's a vaccine for cervical cancer?
That's what the person says.
I think it's the HPV vaccine. I don't
Ah, I
know
see.
if I
Yeah.
would call it a vaccine against cervical cancer because, if cervical cancer runs in your family, for instance, I don't know if it's going to stop that.
Yeah, I think you're
But
kind of screwed either way at that point. But for HPV, yeah, it helps, I guess. I think that, for people that are sensitive to medications and stuff like that, you should probably ask your doctor, your neurologist before getting it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like if you're already at the point of not trusting doctors and you have epilepsy, you're gonna be in for a rough ride because we need our doctors. Like if you're just trying to tough it out based on I don't trust doctors, it's not gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, I guess that is the point ultimately. I mean, we all have problems with them, but they are the gatekeepers for the medicine, and that is what saves us ultimately. So,
You could say instead of
yeah.
I don't trust doctors, or well, yeah, you could say that you trust your neurologist at least, but you could not trust regular doctors instead.
And if you don't trust a certain doctor, there are many. Just find a new one that you do trust who hears you, whatever it is that you need from, your uh point of care, it's like you should be able to find it. So just look around. It's not a one-stop shop, you know.
Anyhow, it says worth telling doctor about breakthrough seizure. I was diagnosed with TLE last year, and I've had seizures about completely under control until yesterday. I switched one of my medications, non-seizure related, to an injection form, but I hate needles. I thought it would be okay for my boyfriend, licensed pharmacist, gave me the injection, but I had a breakthrough seizure before he even took the needle out. My arm and face were jerking, twitching, and I felt like I couldn't move or breathe, and I didn't understand what was going on. Is this worth bringing up to a neurologist? Obviously, only a doctor would be a true answer, would have a true answer, but my insurance sucks. Should I just keep an eye out and make sure nothing gets worse?
There's a lot of red flags in that. She had her
Yeah,
boyfriend do the injection, and also, what was the injection? And is it a prescribed medication, or that's confusing?
yeah.
And if they already hate needles, it's like, okay, you're not going into this relaxed, clearly. So we've all had stress-related seizures, so that could have been the cause. The medicine could have been the cause. Where it was injected could have been. There's so like many things. Well, so toaster, yes, you can look away from the needle, but if you know it's coming, you're still going to be stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I used to be a phlebotomy tech, and we'd ask people, "Are you afraid of needles? You afraid of needles? Okay, I'm just going to have to turn your head. It's going to be over quick." That's what I meant. Not just I didn't mean for it to sound like I was discarding
Oh,
what
okay,
they felt
gotcha,
about the
okay.
needle.
That reminds me of like when I give my mom that little thing on her arm. I don't know if anybody's seen it before. It's like, I guess for diabetes, put the little thing on your arm and it stays there for some time.
Yes. There's also
But
another
every
one
time
that I
I
know
put it
that goes on
on,
a chest.
every time I put it on, I'm like on the count of 3, and I do 1, 2, because otherwise she's gonna jump on 3. So I do it on 2. Mom, if you're watching this, yeah, I got you.
I
Count.
have
No
to
3 count.
I have to give my son injections for his eczema because he has like really, really, really bad eczema. Um, and it's like every other week, and he's so scared of needles that I have to do it while he's asleep, which could be traumatizing in a completely different way.
Yeah.
But I always give him the option. Do you want to just go ahead and get it over with, or do you want me to do this while you're asleep? And mm, every once in a while, he'll say, um, "Yeah, let's get it over with." When that happens, he gets a treat. But I'm not going to wake him up in the middle of the night after I've injected him just to give him a little candy, because then he will never go back to sleep.
So do you guys suggest telling your doctor about breakthrough seizures, even though you had a
See,
seizure
Max.
because you're taking something else?
I do suggest you tell them about breakthrough seizures. Isn't that what they want to know? No? Anybody?
Especially at the beginning.
Do you bring up the medication you've taken through a syringe?
Absolutely. Whatever it was.
Can her boyfriend get in trouble? It says he's a licensed pharmacist.
I guess they don't have to mention that part. Like they could say they injected it themselves, and the result would end up being the same. Like, oh, you injected it wrong. It's like, okay, well, I know that was my boyfriend, but now I know for the future.
Yeah.
He won't get in trouble.
Yeah, there's an easy way
Those
to
are
avoid
they're meant, even when you see like the packaging, it'll even say where you can self inject it and where caregivers should inject it. Like if you're self-injecting, you have a lot more areas.
Well, we still don't know what exactly she took, though.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
But also,
But
she
I
I'll
had the
don't.
agree that the
seizure.
doctor
How?
needs the big picture.
Yes.
The doctors definitely should know what all she took and, how that could have contributed.
But she could tell the doctor, I had a seizure when I was gonna get the shot because she said she didn't get it. She said she had the seizure
Oh, I
beforehand.
thought it said that she had the seizure before he took the needle out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was
before he
while it
even
was
took the needle
in.
out.
Oh, I thought she meant like out of her skin.
It just says needle out.
I see.
And it says my arm and face were jerking and twitching. So
Okay,
So,
so
yeah.
there's more info that I think is needed. But all in all, I think we're all in agreement that yes, this person needs to tell their neurologist about the seizure and the medical is and the possibly if there's doctor patient privilege that can extend to the boyfriend, I guess. Definitely mention that he was the one that did it, so that way he can get some knowledge on how to do it correctly.
I do suggestion bringing up breakthrough seizures. Could be something you don't see personally. This one said, why do some of you with epilepsy have no shame or fear in even having any seizures at all? And why do others seem to have fear of everything causing a seizure? Personal accounts, please. For me, this is my fourth diagnosis. I've been disabled since birth with an autosomal recessive disease called, someone write this down. It says ARTHRYPOSIS. Arthrogryposis. That's what it looks like. Yes, that's what it is. See it.
Arthrogryposis.
Did I pronounce that right?
Arthrogryposis. Close enough.
Okay. Gonna start over then. It
Super
says for me,
stitch
this
joint,
is
it
my
sounds
fourth.
like.
For me, this is my fourth diagnosis. I've been disabled since birth with an autosomal recessive disease called arthrogryposis. Multiplex. There's a few other medical terms. Whoever's reading it pretty much knows. I've never personally had a sense of normalcy, or as the famous Mordecai Adams said, what is normal for the spider and chaos for the fly? I think for me personally, I've never been what you'd call functional. I believe most neurologists push fear of death too much from a seizure, so an inherent fear of the unknown. I just noticed the two extremes. There's near a go whatever that word was, near aggro something, or like I'm walking 10 miles in a week. The heat is of necessity. I'm wondering your personal mindset of how you view epilepsy. For me, it's an inconvenience. On the flip side, I've watched people who've seized, and it's more horrific to watch than to experience this. Even with epileptic friends, I seem strange, at least my perception of itself. What's your view on reasoning? Everyone gets enough vote for me. Um, yeah. Should we move on? That one is a whole lot going on there.
Agoraphobic.
There we go. Agoraphobic.
So they mean like scared to go outside and do stuff, basically. Yeah. Because
Agoraphobia.
agoraphobia is a fear of people.
Yeah,
No, I
it's
Being
two
outside
different
and stuff.
agoraphobias. I know it's the same word for two different things. One
I
is fear of crowds, which I know very well, and one is just fear of open spaces.
I actually looked up the exact word arthrogyrosposis. It's a rare genetic mutation present at birth that causes joint contractures, meaning that the joints are stiff and have limited range of motion. In other words, the joints may be stuck in one position and can't fully bend or straighten. And the key features are multiple joints are affected, most commonly in the arms or legs. And I think it, uh, um, it's related to neurological or muscular disorders. So I don't think it really has anything to do with that other thing.
Well, I think from what I can gather from what they said, um, they're they're trying to figure out like why some people are like extremely afraid, or some people are like the extreme opposite. And I think that that just really goes on the way that people cope with chronic conditions. And like some of us laugh, and some of us cry, and
Cry.
some of us don't want to keep going. Some of us feel like we have to. So yeah, I think that's kind of a very subjective topic. It's different for each person.
So you guys gotta listen to this because it's very long. Need you guys to listen because I won't remember one bit. It says, I only have a basic understanding of psychogenic seizures before I became disabled back in the 90s. I was a direct care worker. So before my husband was diagnosed with seizures back in 2022, I had witnessed clients a few times with tonic-clonic seizures before it helped. They had epilepsy. The seizures were somewhat different from the ones my husband had, being that they regained normal breathing before EMS came. My husband had 3 tonic-clonic nocturnal seizures and needed emergency care. Before those were diagnosed as seizures, bizarre things had happened in his sleep for quite a long time. There's a possibility my husband has had both epilepsy and psychogenic seizures. The EEGs so far haven't shown epileptic activity. He has to go for an inpatient study. I already wrote a couple of support posts. I am just wondering some things. Can psychogenic seizures cause the need for emergency care and a person being rendered unconscious with respiratory distress? Do psychogenic seizures get better with seizure meds? Does anyone know if psychogenic seizures can cause lactic acid levels to rise in the blood afterwards? Has anyone who had a systematic infection had psychogenic seizures and needed to be incubated? My husband had sleeping testing a couple of years ago. Severe periodic limb movements disorder was diagnosed. At that time, no sleep apnea diagnosis was given. He has to get a new sleep doctor. Can limb movement disorder during sleep be mistaken for psychogenic seizures or vice versa? Also, if someone on high dose seizure meds, can it cause epileptic waveforms to not show on EEGs? I am hoping the upcoming inpatient EEG tests, once scheduled, will help us with neurologists get more specifics. I am hoping we can get more direction in what my husband needs. We may have to set him up with a psychiatrist per the MP. I just don't want my poor husband to be put on even more things that make it hard for him to function. I'm sure Social Security won't care in his case that he is so affected by his meds, but if he needs to see a psychiatrist, then we will do that too. I am making all the calls and appointments pretty much. He is tired and has low motivation a lot. He struggles with concentration and memory sometimes. I love him, and if he doesn't ever win his case, I don't want him returning to stressful work environment. We will have to figure things out. He's a good guy, and I don't want him to have to go through all this. No judgment here. I understand all too well the side effects of the meds. I am a neurotin of neuropathy, and I have anxiety and depression. I know what it is to be like judged and treated poorly by others because of having health issues and being disabled. My heart goes out to all those out there struggling with any kind of seizures. I wish all safety, but advice, please. Can this be psychogenic? I'm no doctor, but I kind of remembered some of that. Then it left.
That was a long one too.
So according to what I looked
don't
up,
even remember it.
it does not require medication to keep you breathing if it is a PNES seizure. That is, and anti-seizure medication could make them worse if they are truly PNES. So I would definitely tell her they need to get the in-hospital EEG, because sometimes that's the only way they actually catch them. I mean, come on, everybody knows, right? We go in for an EEG, and if you don't have that seizure in that 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever, then, and really, like, you know, most of us have to go a little further than that to get a real diagnosis.
You need someone that can properly read the EEG as well.
That too. But yeah, he should be under observation for more than the length of time that it takes to do a regular EEG, I would think. And definitely what I looked up, it does not sound like he has PNES as the main thing. Like, he probably has epilepsy, and then he may have some seizures that are related to PNES, but if so, the medication wouldn't help him. It wouldn't bring him out.
But I know with PNES, I have the diagnosis with both epilepsy and PNES. And I think Annie was too, but she got the PNES taken off. But 30% of people who have epilepsy also have PNES. And it's basically your brain saying, oh God, it's overloaded, and it's saying, oh God, what do I do now? And that's when it decides, oh, I'm going to short circuit because this is how I'm supposed to do it. And it doesn't have the actual sparks, if that makes any sense. But your body already knows, okay, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. You don't have control over it, but yeah. But I also, I agree. You need to get a long study done, and that way you'll know
just to
for
be
sure.
100% sure, you know. And he could
Yeah.
have both, like you say. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have both, but it sounds like
Yeah.
if you had to take him to the emergency room and they had to help him breathe, that's not usually a PN. You can, it says they can have it before or after, have trouble, you know, breathing, your airflow may not be the same, right? Like you heavy breathing or panting, whatever, but hyperventilating, anxiety, those kind of things. But yeah, that it's different when you absolutely stop breathing. That's more like a regular seizure. Anybody else got anything to say?
I just have a question. For I don't know, because I've never really found any information on it, but do people with PNES lose consciousness like fully? Because from what I've read, most people don't.
No, at least I don't. Not with my PNES ones. It's very
Okay.
interesting with comparing the focal to PNES. With the focals, I get just a sense of huge world ending dread, universe, everything. It's just it's leaving, it's going. It's the end. With a PNES episode, yeah, I guess I should call it episode. Um it's not dread of, oh my God, something's gonna happen. It's the dread of, oh my God, I'm anxious. I gotta get out of here. How do I get out of here? Do I go
Oh, so
that way? Do I go
it
this
feels
way?
like I guess, is it like a worse panic attack?
Yeah,
Maybe?
it's like a
Yeah.
panic attack on steroids.
Okay, yeah.
Um, my my mom would call me feral. Um, but it one thing that my neurologist always tells me is that PNES seizures are still seizures. Why seizure is in the name. Yes, you may react differently afterwards. You probably don't need as much recovery time as someone who has electricity going through them. I mean, if it is a PNES. But I've never really lost consciousness, getting back to the original question.
Okay, so it's like if I can think properly. Um, I lost it. I'm gone.
A terrifying panic attack.
Okay, yeah. What I was gonna say is a seizure without the electrical activity,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's what, yeah, that's what it looked like from what I could read. So, thank you very much, Toaster. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
I got something here. It says postical state after TC. Hi, you guys. I'm new to epilepsy, but I know what a TC is. I had one in my sleep a few days ago, and it's really been messing with my head. I don't have any questions in general, but I need some advice. That was all.
Oh, okay. I thought there was gonna be more. Yeah, TCs are rough postictal. They they suck. They're really hard on the brain, they're really hard on your body. You wake up damaged and you wake up very confused, and usually head is hurting really bad.
Your
But
brain needs to rest as much as possible pretty much after a TC. It has to repair the, what do you call it, the neural ways that happened
The neural
during the TC.
pathways.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why they're so rough. Um, but yeah, if it's a nocturnal one, it depends on when it happened. Feel you you still might feel like you need more sleep, but you'll definitely feel the, like, your bones and everything out of place.
Yep, agreed. My epileptologist always says a single seizure, even if it's just an aura, is like a 16-hour workout for your body and your brain. So sleep as much as you need to.
oh, and electrolytes too.
Yeah, and water, lots of water, and electrolytes. Yeah.
I got something here. It
And a
says,
nanny cam.
oh yeah, gotta get one of those. It says, is this feeling odd? Some of the newer posts in this subreddit talked about death, SUDEP, and how they are perceived. This has got me thinking, 22-year-old male, as someone who's had multiple status episodes and recently went into pulmonary arrest, is it odd to have more fear of coming back from a potentially lethal episode than actually dying. I'm sure some of you know the ictal feeling of literally fighting to stay alive, and it isn't fun. I was almost certain that I'd die from the last episode, as did everyone who witnessed it. But kicking the bucket is not a fear of mine. I've gone through quite a few losses and stages of grief, except the inevitability and whatever comes with it. So is this odd? Does anyone else feel this way?
Desensitized a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like you finally got with it and got over it. Advice though, you guys? Anyone else feeling like that? Does it sound odd? No, it doesn't sound odd, personally.
I mean, if you're
No, it
wishing
doesn't.
for death, then maybe see like a therapist. But if it's just like you're not afraid of it, then it's not odd.
Yeah. I think these pills kind of cause emotional things. There's some stuff I'm kind of not sensitive about. And I'm more like, why are you guys so angry? Or they're looking at me like I'm so nonchalant about things. And I'm like, I think it's the pills. Like the look on my face doesn't go with the expression or the emotion that they're feeling. So that's what I get. People are like, you're not even listening to me. And I'm like, I'm listening. Just my facial expression isn't going to change every bad word you say. I got a straight face.
Flat affect. Yeah. If they're referring to like a lethal attack isn't coming back and then their body is permanently damaged in a way where they can't live life comfortably, then I would empathize with not wanting to. I would rather be put down than live where, a seizure just completely took me out, which sounds kind of shallow to some people, but I mean, it just depends on the person, I guess.
I don't think it's a bad thing to feel like that, because like I mean, yeah, you don't really know what you're gonna wake
Yeah.
up to. You don't know anything's happening, and you wake up and something completely different has changed and your
Yeah,
life
what
has
if
changed.
they
Like
broke their entire spine and they're in a
paralyzed and
yeah, they're
stuff.
paralyzed.
Yeah.
I personally, that would be my last straw. I'd be done. I'd be like, cut me out. Like,
Yeah, I can understand that because
so
that's life changing even
if
more on
that's
top of it.
something that they genuinely would rather, that's a genuine feeling to have. I have that feeling of if I had a seizure and something crazy happened, I would wish that, hopefully it would just take me the easiest route because, for some people.
Oh, yeah. If I can build on that, it's that morbid feeling that a lot of people talk about. It's kind of like a two-part thing. It's, I know I don't really have seizures anymore, but I still think that one day I could just not have any auras and have a seizure and die, from something. That thought is always in the back of my head, but I'm always sad and depressed and have that, you know, um, that negativity that comes with it is there's that other side of morbidity that comes with this that thinks, well, maybe I just shouldn't be here because I'm just bringing everyone else down, and maybe I should just end it. That's the other half of it, I,
You should be
that's I know, but
the
that's
unlogical
also
part of your brain.
I know, but that's also in the back of my head. It's always just lurking there. and it's hard to shake. It's just very hard to shake. And I
You're
think,
never gonna shake it all the way. All you have to do is,
no,
well, not all. You just gotta
and
be aware where it is in your head, if that makes sense.
yeah, and I think that's where those I guess this person is to answer their question. I guess that's where these feelings come from.
I
So
just want to say something positive about SUDEP. It's almost extremely rare to happen. But
come in.
yeah,
Also, I just want to say really quick, Kevin, that sounds really hard, really scary to have to experience. And I never really thought about the idea of not having seizures anymore, and then constantly thinking about if you're gonna have one versus having your seizures. And yes, they suck, but at least you know you're having them. That's scary.
Yeah.
I got one here. It says, "Is it okay for me to get mad?" My family was talking about epilepsy the other day, and my aunt suddenly said, "It's all because of these phones." It's all because of these phones, and I got so mad for her blaming all the suffering I went through on a phone. Is it a valid reason to get mad, or is it an actual fact? It's been 6 days. How many people are still finding it? Um, I doubt it's the phones. I've had seizures and I haven't looked at my phone for hours. Um,
My mom told me one time that it was my AirPod.
mm. Sorry
I
about that.
That's like telling me books cause seizures.
I got told every single little thing. It's from watching the TV. It's from going outside. It's from not going outside. It's every little thing, you know.
Yeah, blame it on a cell phone. I have not heard that one. I think, but yeah,
Probably the
just say
5G. That's probably what she was thinking of when she said it.
these new 5G. That's what it is.
They're probably thinking of photosensitivity seizures and they're not aware about that.
Could be. Sounds better to make fun of it, but yeah. Um, yeah. It's okay for you to get mad if somebody tells you that your phone is causing your seizures. I do agree with this person. You can get mad as you want to. I don't know how old you are, but it's okay to be mad. I wouldn't say to attack anybody, but it's okay to be mad. Someone says, "I'm done. I'm tired of spending so much time and money and still being sick. I have a connective tissue disorder, so I basically just have comorbidity after comorbidity, and it's just not just epilepsy. But as far as my epilepsy is concerned, I give up. I've been having episodes consistent with temporal lobe focal seizures, and they've been occurring 0 to 5 times a week, sometimes multiple in a day. I told my neuro, and he ordered a 30-minute EEG, came back normal. He decided no changes in treatment plan. So I contacted my PCP to ask her about what my next step should be, because at this point it seems like my neuro doesn't think they're seizures. She had me schedule an appointment, so I had some hope. That appointment was this morning, and the gist of it was go talk to your neuro. And honestly, I'm a little angry. I just feel like I'm being judged, and I'm going to end up stuck with no answers and no help again. I don't want to make an appointment with a neuro. I just know I'm going to be brushed off again or asked or told, do you really want to increase your dosage or do you want to wait and see what happens next? Maybe I should figure out Dr. Otto because that's kind of your job to figure out what to do next. F this shit, man. I am overwhelmed, but still have positive vibes. I think that was more of a rant. Actually, there was a few questions in there. Advice for this person? Second opinion.
Second opinion.
Third, second, third, or whatever is necessary. Especially when you can't get doctors to listen. So,
Well, if you're having frustration with your doctor, I think we mentioned earlier, there's always more doctors you can go with. Well, with and always always have a plan going forward. You know, you want, you know, your demands. If your medicines aren't effective, uh, make that clear. I did not, in my younger years, I did not make that clear to my doctor. Um, my mom had to make that clear. She had to, you know, she had to kind of uh, break that.
Advocate.
Uh, yeah. I was sitting there. I was like, my medicines work fine. Let's get out of here. But she had to like stop me and like literally say to the doctor, we need change here. So always always get your thoughts aligned and what you're going to say to your doctor. You know, that's really important. So just get your shit together before you see your doctor. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was actually gonna because I have scattered notes all over in different notebooks, so my notes get twisted around into different notebooks, and when I get to the neurology office, I'm like, or the meeting, I have like 50 different notepads, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. So I would recommend like having a designated notebook just for your epilepsy and for like if you had a TC, like write down what may have triggered it, when did it happen, any medication conflicts you can write down in that notebook so that when you go to the neurologist, you can also have like a binder of things and section it off if you need to as well. So that when you go to the neurologist, you have just one set thing that you're like, here, this is all of my neurology stuff. And that way, too, when they look at you, they're much more likely to take you seriously as well, which sounds silly, but oh shoot. But they like organization and they expect organization sometimes as well. So
They also do have apps too. I use an app. It's called Epsy, and it tracks my medications and my seizures.
I use the same app.
It's good. It works good.
And to piggyback off what Kevin said, with like talking to your doctors and stuff, let them know like every if you can't tolerate yourself a simple side effect, let them know that because communication is key with them.
yeah, so um, the next one would be I'm so disheartened over my memory loss. I don't know if it's epilepsy or the lamotrigine, but my memory, both long term and short term, is shocking. I graduated top of the class in law and political science, and everything I learned has been wiped. Worse, my capacity to learn anything currently has disappeared. I read a book last week and I could read it again today because I can't remember the plot. People think I'm uneducated and unintelligent because although I spend a lot of time learning and researching, it all disappears. My only type of smart was being book smart, academically smart, and it's gone now. I have no other skills, and when I try to learn new ones, it just doesn't happen. Each time I try, it's like for the first time. I never progress. Anyway, I just had to share and wondering if anyone else has been through this. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, meds and seizures. Both of those can definitely affect memory.
Yep. Every single thing will affect your memory pretty much. These meds target your brain, which, yeah, they're going to change up. I just got prescribed Excopri, which specifically says may have a side effect that messes up your cognitive abilities, and yeah, seizures cause confusion and everything, and over time, yeah, your memory's gonna be all screwed up.
Oh,
Yeah, the part
oh,
about like
sorry.
bring things to, yeah, like learning new things, it isn't impossible, but it's hard. It takes repetition for me to do something, read it, read it, read it, read it, then oh, I understand. Well, not I understand. I remember how to do it. I think my dad said something like that. He was saying things over and over to me, and I didn't tell him, I hear what you're saying, taking it in, just not using it. Because once it comes time to use that knowledge, you told me I kind of remember it when it doesn't become that time to use it. Um, Lufa, you had something?
I was just gonna say, as someone with short-term memory loss, it it's kind of it's kind of ironic because now I forgot what I was gonna say. So I don't know. I forgot.
We were talking about short-term memory.
Yep,
So,
we sure were, and I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry.
it's all right. We understand.
It
It's funny
happens.
because I was talking with my mom last night about my seizure history, and I wanted to get just just some information. And at the end of the conversation, she said, "You know, Kevin, it came to me. We had this same conversation 3 months ago. You asked me all this stuff." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I completely forgot all of this." And we have this conversation every 3 months, basically, and I forget it. And but it's fine. And but as far as this person who's talking, or the person who asked the question, yeah, college is going to be really tough, and you have to adjust. Um, it was really awful for me because I could not remember anything. I would read things 1,000 times, and yeah, but people like us are just going to have to work harder, I guess. I don't, I don't know if that's good advice.
Finding ways that work for you, like ways that you learn specifically how you learn best. I find is something really good if you highlight on where and how you learn best. Like really, even if it's like the way I hold a pencil is like this, and it's not normal. It's not everyone thinks it's weird and comments on it. It's all these different ways, but I it's just how I hold it. It's not comfortable for me, but I don't know how to hold a pencil any other way. And I've tried a million times to hold pencils the way everyone else does, but I've accepted that I just hold a pencil differently. So just accepting that you learn differently now and that you might absorb information differently is a really good, like, I am taking workout classes with old people. Jazzercise. Why not? You know, I fit the demographic kind of, so just emphasize on what you can do.
I like that.
Can't
Go with what you can do.
It's always, I guess.
Yeah. I like that too. Is it possible to have a seizure? Oh my goodness. Is it possible to have a seizure because of stress? We can go past that one. Does anyone else struggle? Huh?
I said that one's a hell yes.
Yeah, that was the only question. There was nothing after that.
And it could be PNES or regular epilepsy.
What's you said ENS and PNS? Is there two different things?
No, I said it could be PNES or regular epilepsy. Stress can trigger a seizure.
We got one here. I think you're gonna get another hell yes, but we'll do it anyway.
And I just later I'm leaving now, so good night, everyone.
Stop.
All right, you
Bye,
have a
Kevin.
good night.
Stop.
Good night, Kevin.
Good night, Kevin.
Good
Have a
night.
good one.
So it says, does anyone else struggle with loss of words? The more seizures I've had, the more difficult it has become to find anything but the simplest way to state my intention. This is probably tied to my loss of memory, and I know many can relate to it, but has anyone else experienced this frustrating mess? This happens almost every day. I can't think of words during an in-person conversation or when texting, journaling, or writing, email, poetry, etc. I look up synonyms and ways to rephrase sentences constantly. I also forget things like movies, shows, books, music, etc. But I've learned to live with that and laugh it off. I know it's tied directly to memory loss. Oh, is this tied directly to memory loss? Yeah, I guess. Struggling with loss of words, had anything to do with memory loss?
I mean, it could be, and it's also like a cognitive thing, like the way that you're processing what you're trying to say can get jumbled.
You get that when I'm reading time to time, just jumbled words.
I guess, like, with loss of words, I guess it would be like, because for me with the electric convulsive therapy, since they shocked my brain basically, it's kind of like they just shocked some things out of me. So part of that is like relearning really small things, which has its good and bads. I didn't understand my they and theirs, the different types of they and they are, but I do now after electric convulsive therapy. But other than that, I guess it would just have to do with the memory aspect of your brain and how you're like it's developing, and if it's how your vitamins are. Make sure you're doing a lot for your vitamin complex. That's very big. Yeah, that's what I would say. I have a similar memory to my grandpa, and he has dementia. So it just depends on the person. And if you have severe memory problems, I would probably get that advocated for because it's tough, especially if you're younger, to be taken seriously if you have memory problems, because then you're just seen as lazy or you're not paying attention or this or that. But if you ask my mom, I go to do something and 2 seconds later I'm walking back like, what? And she's like, Olivia, this is the third time I've asked you this, like, but she's patient with me, which is good. Anyways, there's my memory rant.
Yeah, I had memory problems. I think stress part of it increased the memory problems, and it just you can yeah, it's like Lupa said, memory therapy can help you out, which I had to do for about a good half a year. Um, and there's also your diet. Watch what you eat, you know. Um, if you want to increase your memory, the good foods to eat are like fatty fishes, you know. They have the good vitamins for you that will help your memory. Or if you want to go in uh Pookie's route, some B12.
Shout out to Nature's Navy. This one here says, do you sometimes feel off but not seize? Like the title says, I understand that seizures can take a million forms, but I wonder if anyone ever just feels a bit like their brain's electric circuit is misbehaving slightly, but does not bring your usual seizure pattern. I sometimes get days or hours rather than seconds and minutes, like a normal seizure, of feeling like the early stages of the seizure, but that's all. I had an EEG that confirmed my diagnosis, but I did not seize during the test. So I wonder if perhaps it's possible to feel these smaller disturbances in the brain's electricity too. Do you ever feel off but not seize? That was the question. Yeah, but I heard that those vibes are seizures. So if you get an aura, it's kind of a seizure already. You guys got anything?
There's days I feel off. It's not an aura, sort of say, but it's like I gotta be careful. Like maybe I woke up dizzy or something like that, you know, and I take extra time to get myself in place. And if I can't shake that off, then I take extra uh, precaution into the day. Like when I used to work, I would, if I couldn't shake off dizziness or whatever ness when I woke up, I would, like, within a half hour, if I couldn't shake it off, I would call out because I rather not seize at work.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
those
that's for sure.
feelings too sometimes. And I can't I can't always tell if I'm just gonna have a seizure or not. Um Sometimes I don't, but I that is still, I think, technically a seizure because it's still like it's just acting funky.
Yes, an aura, right? So an aura,
Yeah.
according to my epileptologist, is a seizure. Just hasn't gone all the way around your brain yet. It's sticking on the one place for now. Yeah. For sure. I have days where I feel like, oh boy, definitely something's gonna happen. But I guess it depends on what I do. And if I think I am gonna have an aura, then my doctor said I could take the rescue meds or a half of a rescue med, just try to stop it, and sometimes that does. So yeah, definitely there are days when I feel off, but I don't have an actual full blown thing. At least not while I'm awake. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anybody else?
Like I said, sometimes I get that odd day to where just kind of feeling a little weird. So yeah, I get those vibes where I'm a little off, but I don't seize. But most of those times, I think it's me more in my head sometimes. So like I get a weird vibe and I'm sitting there thinking, is this gonna be a seizure? So I get that kind to where I feel a little off. But most of the time it's in my head. And I'm like, maybe I was tripping. I tell myself that later on. Maybe I was tripping. Maybe it was just me. So I get those.
I don't like the only ones that I kind of forget what we were talking about, sorry, but I think I remember, but I think for me, like the myoclonic jerks. I feel like, does that really?
The days when you have myoclonic jerks, but
Yeah.
you don't have a full on seizure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
like,
thing.
Yeah, so like I would say that the myoclonic jerks are worse than the full on seizure for me because I'm awake for it feels like I'm awake for the seizure, and I am sometimes like
I feel
bedridden,
for you.
and it's like it's hard to explain. So it's like those days where you kind of have like that aura of like, oh my gosh, like am I gonna have like a seizure? Kind of, I have that same like feeling, but also for like the myoclonic jerks, because even if I just have like one small one in the morning, which I usually do, it just sets me off on like a spiral in my head of like, okay, like I just don't want to have this all day because there goes my entire day.
Right.
Yeah, I feel for you, Lupa, because I had a full on cluster that was tonic-clonic, and I was aware for it, and I know what that feels like, and it gives you PTSD.
Yeah, because it literally feels like you're being like electrocuted. Like it's like, and then you have the feeling of sometimes if it's so clustered, you have the feeling of the post-ictal phase almost after it, where your body's just so worn down, but it's like you were just awake for it, and now you're awake for the aftermath of it, and it's like then there might be more coming, and it's just exhausting. It's really tiring.
And you have to see your family's face too at that, and it's like, oh no, I didn't want to do this to them.
Yeah, like the 12 I had when we went down for my son's graduation. It was just, awful. My husband was giving them back to me today so I could write them all down. And then I had another 2 after we got back home. That's, gosh, I'm sorry, everybody who has clusters, they're the worst. Well, maybe not the worst, but they're pretty damn bad. And if you can remember it, I could remember about maybe an 1/8 of them, but that's all. And thank God. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you, Angel. and move on. Sucks.
I don't know if I was cut off on that one. I said I think the 6 hour one is burned into my brain.
I did not know I was on mute. I was reading something. Wow. Okay,
I was
so
about to say, why can't I hear Pookie?
does anyone else never believe someone saying you had a seizure when you wake up? Countless times I've woken up as a child. My twin brother doesn't have seizures, but I do. Most of them in my sleep or most of them at school. When me and my brother would go to school, sometimes he'd tell people I had seizures in my sleep on days that I didn't have seizures. And then we would argue, yes, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. And eventually I'd give in because I was the one asleep. Now that I'm in my 20s, I wake up with a person over me saying, "Hey, buddy, you just had a seizure." And one of my go to responses is, "No, you didn't. Nah, you're lying. Please say I'm not the only one who's going through this. Do you believe everyone when they say you had a seizure?" Oh, it also says sometimes this feels like fake news.
Only when it first started, then I would argue, but I don't argue anymore because I know I don't remember diddly crap. And the very few things I do remember, I'm like, oh God, I do remember like right up until that second, and then that's it. So no, I don't argue anymore,
Yeah.
but that's me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Every time someone said you had a seizure, I would be like, no, I don't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I got to do this. I got to do that. Yeah. We, it's like a, you want to deny you had a seizure, but yeah.
Yeah, but then he has a brother who was faking him his whole childhood and like telling people he had a seizure at school and stuff. You had a seizure last night. And then you're like, no, I didn't. Yes, I am. You're going through that now. You're older and you got the ambulance in your face. I guess I could understand. I don't. That's messed up. I guess if it's the
The only,
ambulance, then you like, yeah, I had a seizure. It's that serious. They're here, but yeah, he didn't
the
exactly say
only,
the ambulance. But yeah,
yeah,
I believe people
the
these
only,
days. I stop arguing about it. I try to just put the
yeah.
pieces together and see how long I was gone and what may have or haven't happened. Other than that, I'm through arguing about the point. I'm just like, I have seizures.
The only comfort I can give to him is everybody's body and brain is different, even if you're twins. Now, twins might have a connection, but it's still different. And you know your own body more than anybody else. So when your body feels different, yeah, you're going to know something's off.
I'm gonna head to bed, guys. It is
All right. Good night.
almost 10. Good night, guys.
Good
It was great
night.
Night,
seeing you all.
Lupa.
Good night.
It's great talking.
Bye bye.
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 So I got one here says, I got my degree. Next, I got my degree. Next step is find work. I'm going to be a psychologist. I missed graduation because of a seizure, my first seizure. Now, 8 years later, no job. I can't drive because I can't get there. Then there's in those quotes, can't get there on time at least. I haven't dated in 8 years. And last time I dated someone, he left, and I think it was the medication because someone told me something about Kepper rage, and everyone thinks for years I just been being a bitch. Wow. Now I don't have kids. I can't live my life. I can't drive. I can't party. I can't drink. What do I do with my time? I hate my damn. I hate myself because I feel like I did this to myself drinking in my early teens. Is there any way to not feel like I did this to myself? My neurologist doesn't know why I have epilepsy, but I was diagnosed with epilepsy. Could it be my fault?
I think
That's
guilt
rough.
is a huge part in having epilepsy. Like you're always gonna feel like it's your fault, but I mean that's why we need. I think I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I have missed my last couple of appointments, but it is very helpful because you need to talk about how you're feeling, and I think for a lot of us, we end up feeling like we did something to cause this, but most of the time you won't know.
Agreed. Guilt, and you always think you what horrible thing did you do to curse this upon everyone and yourself? But I don't know. I mean, I was really relieved to find out that I didn't in any way affect it. But I'm sure drinking in your teens didn't do this, because I mean, seriously, hundreds of thousands of people drink in their teens and they don't get epilepsy, so I don't think that's it, okay? I mean, what do you guys think?
I think it's kind of crazy how she said, my doctor doesn't exactly know why I have epilepsy, but I was diagnosed with epilepsy. What does that mean? Like, you're going to say I have epilepsy, but you don't know why? Is that a thing?
There's
I don't know.
a form of it is called idiopathic, which means that they don't have a known reason for it.
Mhm. Yeah, mine used to be like they used to not know why. It took a bunch of different MRI specialists to go over my MRIs to find, even though they knew where like the area was coming from, for whatever reason is so small or whatever, they couldn't, see it. So yeah, you can have it for a long time and they still can't tell why.
Is it a big thing? Since, well, you guys are women. Is it a big thing if you were told you can't have children?
It was for me.
Like before you started epilepsy, and they'd be like, "Oh, you can't have children." She's kind of down about she can't have children. She said, "I can't have kids. I can't have a job."
Well, I mean, she can't have kids because of the epilepsy and the medication.
It didn't really go too much in about the epilepsy. She just kind of said, "I had a seizure. I couldn't go to my graduation because I had my first seizure the same day. I went past it. I left it." But yeah, she's basically like, "I can't date because people think I'm just a bitch." And yeah,
I think
she's
that
like,
that might be just, you need to maybe talk to your doctor about changing your medication and stuff.
yeah, she
Well,
said
I think it's
something
also
about,
too like she's saying she can't have kids because she can't find a partner, maybe. But I mean,
Yeah, but
at that point, you can still do other options.
for sure.
But maybe she doesn't trust herself.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I know that like Katie, has kids and she's had kids after she had epilepsy. So, I mean, because I wasn't diagnosed when I had my children, and I obviously I had it because the injury was still there. It didn't go anywhere. So I guess I'm lucky that I had them, but they used to tell me I couldn't have kids when I was younger. They used to tell me, oh, you have, your abnormal pap smears, right? You'll never have kids. And lo and behold, I have 5 kids, man. And maybe they don't
I
know.
have I have two miracle kids too.
Yeah,
I
come on.
was told that I shouldn't have been able to have them, and then afterwards was told that I won't be able to have any more. But
Well, you got kids, right? So like
yeah,
maybe she
yeah,
shouldn't give up about this yet. This is not the end of the world just yet. I understand the whole like weren't able to go to your graduation and you haven't been able to get a job. Maybe she should look at some other ways to get to the job though, or maybe look at some like disability things. Like they have to give you a certain amount of leeway if you've got medical conditions. So,
yeah. There are forms of help out there, especially if you really need it. Like if you're alone like that, there are options, and you should definitely seek them. And
mhm.
also, go talk to somebody about
Therapy,
how you're
yeah,
feeling. Yeah,
definitely. Because I
helps you
don't,
see the positive side of things.
right. And maybe come and see us. Maybe
Yeah,
talk you up a bit and support you a little. Or at least maybe point you in the right direction to find some help.
Yeah,
and good
that's the
research.
only thing. Oh, go ahead, Sia.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's the only thing I thought we could, or you guys could kind of relate to, because I mean, we didn't understand everything else. She was
Right.
like, I can't drive, I can't have kids, I can't work, and the working and driving, we all got that. But the kids,
Right.
I was like, is that a big deal to you guys not being able to have kids?
When I was told, yeah. I mean,
You're on mute.
You muted.
I'm sorry. When I was told that I couldn't have kids, yeah, I mean, for me, it was kind of a big deal. And thankfully, my husband didn't care. He was like, I love you, and we'll work it out. And we didn't have to do anything special, so yay. Sometimes it
Same
just
case here.
happens, right? Sometimes it just
Yeah.
happens.
He actually, the way she put it, I was thinking maybe she was thinking it because her age, because she was like, I haven't dated in 8 years, I can't have kids. So I thought she was meaning she was getting old type of thing, but it could be that. But
Well, if she graduated at, like, oh, even if you say she graduated at 23 or 24, she's still only like 32 or something, right? I mean, that's pretty young still to
My
have
mom had me
kids.
at like 42, I think,
Yeah,
or
I
46.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm saying for
Yeah.
sure,
It's still
especially
always possible.
nowadays.
With
I-
surrogacy and like oh, not
there you
surrogacy, but
go.
IVF.
Yay.
IVF. Yeah, stuff like
Or
that.
even if she's worried about the medication, surrogacy, always an
Yeah,
option.
absolutely.
Adoption, always an
Adoption too?
option.
Yes.
There are
I'm
plenty of kids
male,
who
but
need homes.
I know this is a female question, but I'm male and I was 38 when my daughter was born.
um,
You're
I
on mute,
thought
mom.
maybe Taylor, mom, you had something? I thought like maybe like at like 50 or like now I'm done with kids because I don't want to be raising teens in my 50s. Uh, yeah, my last ones they're almost out the door, so
You don't
I don't
want
want to
lucky
raise
number
teens in my
7?
50s because teens these days, uh,
Cookie,
yeah,
you don't want lucky number 7?
uh, might, but right now, I'm
It,
at
it
no.
might it might happen at the weekend concert.
No, it won't.
Night,
Not at the
everyone.
concert. Um, that's a good one though. Oh my, not at the concert. I'll say that. You get me in trouble. Um, yeah, but yeah, she can't drive. She can't have kids. You guys gave her the full spiel. Um, I can move forward. How many of you guys don't have a real reason for your epilepsy? All of my EEGs, CT scans, MRIs always come out normal. Yet 10 years later, I'm still having seizures. I've met a few other epileptic people at support groups, but most of them have a reason as why they are seizing. Just wondering if there's more people on the same boat as me. That was just exactly like the last one. I'm not going through that, but you gotta just get a second, third, fourth opinion. Because I mean, if you're having seizures, I want to know that. I want to know a reason. That's like the other person. The doctor doesn't know why. Goes find another doctor. Because I want to know, why am I having seizures? I want to be 100% sure that you know this reason. Because it just sounds uncomfortable. Just yeah, it's like sneezing and drooling and runny nose, but you don't have a cold. It's like I want to know, why am I getting these side effects? And
It's the reassurance of knowing what it actually is, for sure. Because it is kind of reassuring. Like, yeah, you still have epilepsy, but at least you know why.
wow, this was 4 years ago. So yeah, but yeah, I say don't give up. Just get some more opinions. Try other hospitals, maybe. Um, since it's 4 years later, I hope you got that figured out. I really do. Oh my. I'm sorry, you guys. It says, does anyone else with non-photosensitive epilepsy have heightened sensitivity to harsh light and loud noise? I really cannot deal with harsh white or blue light from those light bulbs, the bright LED, etc. And when, for example, someone's showing me a video on their phone and it's on full volume, I have to ask them to turn it down because it just causes an upset in me and I can't stand it. Hard to describe. It's not a trigger or an aura. It's just my body seemingly overreacting. My triggers have always been sleep deprivation and stress. Um, yeah, we all have non-photosensitive seizures. I mean, none of ours are. So, what do you guys think? Loud things don't bother me. I kind of like loud music.
I
When
do
it's
have some sensitivity.
oh,
And I have my phone on constant what's it called? Uh what's the name of that? God, I can't remember what it's called. There's a setting on the phone where it's orange light instead of blue light.
Oh,
And
I have my
yeah.
phone on black screen.
Yeah, black screen, no white screen. Can't have the white screen.
Yeah.
Bye,
It's just
Jason.
it's
but
very
just
uncomfortable to look at.
But the sound, I guess, would be like auto sounding, where it, I don't know, you set it to your comfort level.
yeah. So the person says it kind of just body overreaction. Um, no. The question was, does anyone else with non-photosensitive epilepsy have heightened sensitive to harsh light and loud noise? No, because I like music to be louder than me singing. Um, yeah, and then lights, no.
I know I can't do IMAX movies and VR. That's about it. Those
I
things
did
will
that.
bother me.
I did
And
that to test myself, and it didn't do anything.
yeah,
We have one, but I have not done it to test myself.
I can't do it. I think the last time I went was the what was it, the Star Wars movie #7, and I got sick, and I said, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing IMAX no more.
Mhm.
I got
Yeah.
sick, and I didn't even watch the whole movie.
Yeah, I did the virtual reality one time and I didn't think about it. I did that, me, my son, and his mom. It was like last year maybe. And that was pretty fun. There's this place called Sandbox VR. It's cool. But there was another place on my son's birthday. Yeah, my son's birthday, we were at a bowling alley that had laser tag and they had arcade. In the arcade, they had the virtual reality thing, and I tried that, and I didn't even think about it. That was the worst time to try that. I was sitting there thinking, I don't want to ruin his party and go in there and play laser tag. And for some reason, I went and played virtual reality and thought nothing of it until right now. Yeah, that could have been bad too.
But nothing happened, right? So it's okay.
Right, nothing happened. Yeah, yeah. So there's that. Someone said, "Why is epilepsy rarely talked about in public?" It really surprises me. I had temporal lobe epilepsy. I had temporal lobectomy in 2020 and have been seizure-free since surgery so far. I continue to suffer from memory and learning problems as a result from both of the seizures and surgery, I'm guessing. Anyway, I'm having a tough time understanding why epilepsy is rarely discussed or even acknowledged in the public media, etc. I understand there's a stigma still. There is zero excuse for the lack of seizure first aid taught in schools, but maybe it's better now that I'm older. There are so many diseases to get so much attention and awareness and funding for research. Why can't epilepsy be one of them? I really wish more people understood how much this disease can destroy lives. Why is it rarely talked about? I think somebody said the invisible disease. It's there. It's just invisible, and people don't see it. They don't. I don't think they care. I'm not gonna say care much because maybe they have family. Um, but yeah, I feel like they don't care much unless they have somebody who has it or they have to actually deal with it. That's just my personal opinion. It's not something that's a lot widespread like some of those other things. Um, but yeah, got to get people talking about it.
That's why we have this.
Right. Okay. It says
Spread the awareness. Come join the epilepsy universe.
Make the podcast go viral.
hopefully someone said, oh, I've read this one before. It says, my son is, what's your pre-seizure catchphrase? My son is, my eyes feel weird. Because of his seizures, always start visual aura. We tried to get him to say, I'm having a seizure aura. So it's easier for others to understand what's happening if we are not there, but he doesn't and he won't. My pre-seizure catchphrase, usually too late to say something.
Yep. Me too.
All right, we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Oh, wait.
You're off now. Off still?
And then there was 3
Right.
or
And then there was
4.
3. Oh, yeah, 4. So, you guys got a pre-seizure catchphrase? Anything?
My husband said that mine is I'm fine.
Have to know in order
And
to
you have a
know.
seizure? Angel, what's your pre-seizure catchphrase?
I will have to know in aura first.
Huh?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, I said I would like to know an aura first to know what I'm going to say when I'm about to have a seizure.
Yeah, I don't think I ever remember. No one's ever told me I said something before my seizure. I think I just always just out of nowhere scared everybody. I don't think anyone's told me. Oh, I actually someone has told me. Oh, I seen you. Uh, you look like you're about to have a seizure, but I've never like heard anyone tell me that I told them or said anything weird to them before a seizure. Um, yeah, that's funny. Pre-seizure catchphrase. Anyone else experience false alarms where you get a feeling you're gonna have a seizure and just not?
That's kind of similar to what the other post was talking about, like just feeling weird some days.
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, it's just worded different. Do you have a theory as to what caused your adult onset epilepsy? Seems like 2/3 of adult onset epilepsy doesn't have a clear cause. I have an unsubstantiated theory that 5 years of consistent sleep deprivation paired with stress caused mine. It's been very well maintained via better sleep, meds, stress management. Anyone else have a theory about theirs? It's a poorly understood condition, and I'm curious what others may have to think. Um, Mine's came on years ago when I was a child, so
Do
I don't
we,
even.
do any of us not know that's here right now? I'm not.
I was a child too. So.
Do you know why, Angel?
No, I just was walking to school one day and plop, I fell down. Few months later, grand mal in front of my whole family.
Have they told you why you're having seizures?
I have complex partial. Well, I was diagnosed. I think it upgraded itself to generalized, but I also have clusters and absence seizures.
Yeah, I mean, like, did your doctor come to you like, this is why you're having seizures? Do you have a reason why? Or you just, um,
Nope, no exact reason why. I stopped trying to find a reason why. I'm just living with epilepsy. Like I accepted it. I have epilepsy.
I feel you. Sometimes it's hard to accept, but I feel you. Um, yeah. I don't have a theory because, like I said, I got it as a teen. So it says, can a grand mal seizure be considered a near-death experience? I had a grand mal seizure and went into respiratory arrest and haven't been the same ever since. I've had seizures before, but nothing like this. My whole personality changed. Literally, everything did. I don't feel the same person. It's so weird. I had to learn how to do things again and how to keep living like the same things. Everything is so different. Even things I didn't like, I'm now liking these things now. I feel like I died and was reborn. Can a grand mal seizure be considered a near death experience? I think when you look back at what happened to this person, that is a near death experience. So I don't mind if they refer to every other seizure that happens to them as a near death experience because they had a seizure and went into respiratory arrest. That's personal trauma. So
Yeah, that's definitely, that's scary. Definitely near death. That would change you.
Yeah, you never know when you're gonna come back out of a seizure or anything. So
Not to mention the, go ahead. Oh, okay. Not to mention what the lack of oxygen could have done to their brain.
Could you imagine not liking peanut butter and then out of nowhere you like peanut butter after a seizure?
What if you were allergic to it and you didn't like it, and then afterwards you thought that you did like it and you forgot that you were allergic to it?
Like, give me a peanut butter sandwich. Sounds so good. Yeah. So I guess that situation. Go ahead, Angel.
Going to say about the grand mal seizures that every grand mal you're never going to know you're going to wake up from, you know. So yeah, every single one of them could be a near death experience.
Something else here. Do you guys sometimes get sensitive and cry after a seizure? Just curious because I've had some focal seizures during the day and probably nocturnal one yesterday. Woke up crying and exhausted. My muscles hurt and wasn't able to stop for about 5 hours. Whole body is definitely going to be spent, cozy, in bed, trying to exist and hope tomorrow is better. Sensitive after a seizure. I've been told I did some whining stuff, but other than that, crying for 5 hours afterwards, not ever happened to me.
That hasn't happened to me either.
Do you get sensitive and cry or whine afterwards?
No, but Pookie, I thought you said you cry.
I cry. I think I'm a little more emotional because of the pills. So I cry in different situations. I don't just cry after seizures.
Yeah, I don't cry after.
Oh, Angel left. Phone probably died. Someone says, "Oh, what were you saying, Angel?"
I'm gonna head out, guys. Bye.
Bye. See you Friday. Angel? Can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
What were we talking about?
I forgot, and we will move on then.
Yeah.
I got something that says decline in language. Recently noticed my vocab and language has recently declined over time. Tough to think of words, form sentences, etc. Has anyone else experienced this? Yes, I have. My decline in language, it's gotten worse and worse. It's all over the place. I don't think I could ever be a comedian. I'd forget everything. Can't be an actor. We'd have to read the script and then do it, and then probably hold the script or put it on a teleprompter or something. How about you, Angel? Any decline in language?
Yeah, I've forgotten words. I've forgotten things. I had to tell people, give me 10 minutes and maybe I'll remember when the conversation is moved on to something and it'll be irrelevant. I've forgotten memories. But yeah, it's happened.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.